Now finally, let's get some buttons up here on the top. I'm going to show my top housing. And actually, let's just open that in a whole new window for a second. And again, we're going to edit that ID Master import and make it bring in unabsorbed sketches, because we are going to need a few of those. And one of them, or the most important one, is the button breakups. Now, just like the others, we're going to start by making a solid here. So I'll go to my top plane. And once again, I'll create my center rectangle that's bigger than our product. Go to Features, Extrude Boss, and I'm going to go up to a surface. Choose this surface, hit OK, and we have a solid. Now I can hide my original surface, just so that that's not visible in my viewport. And I can shell this out if I want to. So I'll go to my Shell tool, click on this guy to get rid of that face. We'll do 2 millimeters and hit OK. Now we have a shelled out surface, and we can cut this into its constituent parts. Now, the thing is here that I'm not probably going to do this the way an actual engineer would do it, and the reason is because I am not an engineer by trade or training, and so there are all kinds of details to knowing how to put together a mechanical assembly like this. Lots of little, you need to understand how to do living hinges and how to do the mating features that would put this thing together. I'm not going to do that. Also, all these buttons, I don't know how they work, frankly. As an industrial designer, I don't usually have to know how they work. Somebody will give me an idea, and I'll be like, yeah, that sounds good, do it. So from here, things are going to get less realistic. My point is to just show you some basic concepts of working with master models and collaborating with other people. And hopefully those will be helpful as you develop your own process. So now I'm going to do my extruded cut feature, and I'm going to cut with these guys. And once again, remember, this only works if you're using SOLIDWORKS 2013. Otherwise, you'll have to do each one of these individually. It still works. You just have to do them one by one. I'm going to do a thin feature from a mid plane, and each one of these is a 0.5 millimeter. And we'll go through all in direction 1, hit OK. And yes, we want to keep all those separate bodies. Thank you very much. And we end up with all of our buttons. I can hide that sketch that we imported. And the only other thing we need to do is, actually it's helpful to round off a lot of these corners. It just makes them look more realistic. So let's go to our fillet tool. And I'm going to set my fillet radius to a 0.5 millimeter, which is a nice small radius. And set constant radius, and then I'm just going to drag a box over this whole thing because I want to fillet all of the edges of all of these features, and that's going to take a while. You see I've got all of the edges of this first body, so I'll hit OK. And then I can hide that body. Then I'll do another fillet. This time, let's clear this out. Select everything. It's going to give me that one. Hit OK. And I'm just going to do those one by one because it looks so much better when you've added the fillets. But unfortunately, to add fillets, you have to do them for each body separately. Now, adding all those fillets is a lot of extra work, and you don't really have to do it, but I find it makes things look a lot more realistic. And now we can go to adding the graphics, right? We brought in those graphics for a reason. We went to all of that work to bring in these DXF graphics. So let's start with these playback buttons. What do we want to do with those? Well, I think actually on the front side, these are just going to be pad printed, and so in reality, we don't need them in our CAD data, but we like to have them just because they look nice. They make it look more realistic. It's easier to see what's going on, and it's good to have realistic graphics. And so let's start to add these graphics in a separate video.